Hello and welcome everybody to the Creatrix YouTube channel and myself Ankit Goyal here in front of you presenting a lecture on analog electronics. So guys, soon you will be watching one of the best lectures on analog electronics, but before doing that, let me first introduce myself, my dear friends. My name is Ankit Goyal. I got AIR1 twice in GATE in 2014 and 2018. I was awarded the President of India Gold Medal in the year 2013 when I graduated from IIT Indore. Till date, I have taught more than 1 lakh students in the online and the offline classes, and presently I am working as a director at an academy for GATE department. But the reason, my friend, the reason for this series is because many students were asking for analog electronics, and I had recorded analog electronics just a short while ago. But due to that huge demand, we are giving you the recorded content of the analog electronics, and you are absolutely going to love it because it will provide you an in-depth analysis of analog electronics. And that analysis will be more based on network analysis than EDC. So if you don't have a prior knowledge of EDC, that is not at all required. When I am teaching analog electronics, I will be relating it more towards the network analysis. So you need to have a good basic understanding of network analysis so that you can do well in analog electronics. And my dear friend, what I believe is after this lecture series is over, your fear of analog electronics will definitely go away, and it will seem to be one of the easiest subject ever, because you will be applying the fundamental laws and you will be finding all the answers. Okay, so it will become very easy even for an electrical engineer, because I believe electrical engineers think of analog electronics as a nightmare. They are more comfortable in machines, power system, but not in analog. But now this analog electronics course will stand you at par with the ECE engineers, and you will be able to do well in analog electronics, and I believe you can get 100% marks in analog in GATE and ESE through this course. Okay, so my dear friend, you need to watch all these videos carefully. You need to understand each and every point, and they will also have a large number of questions, so your problem solving ability will be developed. And now my dear friends, you can also join us on Unacademy Plus. With Unacademy Plus, what is the benefit if I am teaching here on YouTube itself? My dear friend, GATE rank or ESE rank is not only about the lectures. First thing you have to understand that when you come to Unacademy, the level of teaching, the level of interaction, discussion is way higher than it can ever be done on YouTube. Because there we are interacting live with the students, and you will feel that your teacher is sitting right in front of you and teaching you on a one-to-one basis. So that sort of a feeling you will get on Plus. You will feel like somebody is taking a tuition class when he is teaching on Plus. That level of personalization is there. But not only live classes, you also get recorded sessions. Whatever session you miss will be available in the recorded form. You get daily practice papers for practice. You get weekly tests to test your preparation level. You get test series, previous year question bank, short courses like crash course and rank improvement batch, and you also get doubt clearing by all the top educators. Now when you get so many things in just one subscription, then I believe if you are serious enough to crack GATE and ESE, you can get the top rank in GATE and ESE. And you can also go for Iconic. Iconic is a superset of Plus subscription. It contains everything that is there in Plus, but many things that are there extra in Iconic, like a personal coach who will be guiding you on a one-to-one basis about the difficulties that you face, about your weaknesses, about the challenges that you might face, about the strategy part. Everything he will tell you in a one-to-one session. Then he will be seeing your test results and giving you a personalized test analysis about what are your weaknesses and how you can overcome them. Then every 2 weeks, there will be a study booster session in which you can ask your doubts, whatever problems you have, and they will be helping you clear them. That is again one-to-one. Other than that, you will also get personalized study material. Here you will get theory notes and you will get question banks. You will get interview guidance. Soon enough, interview guidance will also be added. So the student who is starting his journey right now and looking to crack GATE and ESE with the top rank, Iconic will be the best subscription for that. Stay with me till the end of the video and I'll tell you about the pricing of these subscription. And my dear friends, if you like the videos that we are putting on YouTube, we have created an entire repository at this link. bit.ly/gatelive. Here you will find all the PDFs of all the lectures and all the YouTube links. So here you will find the complete syllabus of GATE, electrical, EC and IN. You will find it arranged subject wise, chapter wise with lecture links and PDF. So this is better than any other paid course available in the market, and plus is even better than this. So you can understand, whatever everybody else is providing you paid courses, we are providing you such a course for free via YouTube. So go and visit this link and take the benefit of all the lectures that are available. Other than that, my friend, I have also created a repository of my free classes on Unacademy called as the special classes. You need to open this URL, download the Unacademy Learning app, and you can attend all my free classes, live quizzes and test series. Yes, my dear friend, we are running a free test series as well. So once you download the Unacademy Learning app without even paying a single rupee, you can watch all the free classes by all the top educators along with their free live quizzes. And every Sunday we are conducting a free test that also you can become a part of. And if you want to learn from me, then my entire content is available on this URL. You can just go and visit this URL and see subject by subject, chapter by chapter, whatever I have taught, that will be available on this link. So first link will provide you all the YouTube classes for free and their PDF, and the second link will provide you my special classes on Unacademy. So that much content we are providing for free. Go and watch it, and if you like it, I would suggest that you come to Plus and use the code AnkitESE. Because my dear friend, with Ankit ESE, you will get an immediate 10% discount, as well as you will be connected to me and we can work together to get you the best GATE rank just like I obtained in 2014 and 2018. So if you want my guidance, if you want the best guidance in this market, if you want the best educators, then you have to join Unacademy. And while joining Unacademy, apply the code AnkitESE to get immediate discount over and above whatever Unacademy is providing. You will get 10% additional off. Okay, so now my dear friends, let's go and watch the lecture and let's learn something new that you might never ever have learned, and let's enjoy the beauty of analog electronics. And I'll meet you again after the video and I'll tell you about the plans and the pricing.
Hi guys, in this video we'll be starting our course on analog electronics. So before starting our course on analog electronics, we must have a basic idea about the semiconductor physics and basic concepts that are included in our semiconductor. For ECE people, they might have already gone through these concepts in their course on electronic devices. So this will be especially helpful. This video will be helpful for electrical people because they don't know the basics of electronic devices. So see this video carefully in order to understand how the semiconductor devices operate. What are the basic principles that are working inside a semiconductor? Okay. So in this semiconductor physics, what we'll be covering is, first of all, we'll be talking about the types of materials. What are the different types of materials? Then we will be classifying materials based on electrical conductivity. Okay. Then we'll be studying a bit about band theory. Then we'll talk about semiconductors. Okay. After that, we'll talk about currents in semiconductors. Okay. This is a brief overview of what we study in ECE in the first chapter, that is your semiconductor physics or semiconductor devices. Okay. So this is just a brief introduction, because if you know these principles, then you can apply these principles to the different electronic devices that we'll see in the further chapters. So let us get started. First, let us discuss about the classification of material. Now the materials are generally classified into three categories. First one is called as crystalline materials. The second one is called as amorphous materials, and the third one is called as pseudo crystalline or it is also called as semi-crystalline. Now, as you might have studied in your 12th standard or the 11th standard, we talk about the crystal structure. Now, what is a crystal? A crystal structure is a material which has regular arrangement of atoms or molecules. Okay, it has a regular arrangement. Regular arrangement means there is a certain pattern that keeps on repeating, and then it generates the entire material. Okay, a repetitive pattern, that is called as a crystalline material. Now, in the figures that I have shown you, the third figure is that of a crystalline material, because if you see here, all the atoms are arranged in a periodic manner or in a regular manner, and it goes on repeating, so it will be called as a crystalline material. The opposite of crystalline is called as amorphous. Amorphous means no arrangement of atoms or molecules. No arrangement means that the atoms and molecules are at random. So, if you see the second figure, you will understand that it is amorphous. Okay, because if you see these dots are the atoms, and these atoms are randomly placed inside the material, so it is called as amorphous. Then what is pseudocrystalline? It is somewhere between crystalline and amorphous. How between crystalline and amorphous? Is that it has arrangement. No doubt it has arrangement, but only over short distance. Okay, like see in this figure, this one is your pseudocrystalline. If you see, these lines represents arrangement, but this arrangement is only present in this region. Outside this, arrangement is there, but this arrangement is not same as the adjacent one. See, these two arrangements are different, these two arrangements are different. So, arrangement is there definitely, but in consecutive sections or adjacent sections, the arrangements are not identical. So, what you can say is that a material is divided into smaller sections, and within that section, the atoms are regularly arranged, but the two sections are not regularly arranged with respect to each other. So, atoms are arranged inside each section, but the two sections may or may not be arranged with respect to each other. That is called as your pseudocrystalline. In crystalline, the arrangement is over the entire material. In pseudocrystalline, the arrangement is over only the small sections within the material. Now, when we talk about crystalline, see, in crystalline, I told you that it is a periodic arrangement, that is repetitive arrangement. Now, when you see a signal, you say that the signal is periodic if one section of the signal keeps on repeating itself. Okay, same way, any arrangement is periodic if a unit repeats itself. If a unit keeps on repeating itself, then it is called as periodic arrangement, or you can say regular arrangement. Is it fine? If there is some unit which keeps on repeating. Now, this unit that keeps on repeating inside a crystalline material, that is called as a unit cell. Now, this term might be familiar to you because we study this in chemistry also. Unit cell is basically it is a small unit which keeps on repeating itself in order to generate the entire crystal. You might have heard about FCC lattice, BCC lattice, and if you haven't heard about this and you are preparing for ESE, then you will go through these terms in electrical materials. That is the basic portion of chemistry, that is the nature of lattice. Okay, so there are three basic materials: crystalline, amorphous and pseudocrystalline, And on what basis are they classified? They are classified on the basis of molecular or atomic arrangement within that material. Now let us classify the materials based on conductivity. Now based on conductivity, there are three types of materials. First one are called as insulators. If you are from electrical or ECE background, then this is very important that you already know this. The three types of materials are insulator, semiconductors, and the third one, conductor. These are the three types of materials that are generally there. Now conductivity. Conductivity, how you define conductivity? See, when we talk about resistance, how do we write resistance? Resistance is rho L by A, where rho is this resistivity. Then what is conductivity? Conductivity is actually 1 by rho. Now this conductivity is actually directly proportional to N, where N is the concentration of charge carriers. Now if you have studied a network analysis, then you know that there is Ohm's law. Let me explain it to you. There is Ohm's law, J equal to sigma E, okay, where sigma is the conductivity. So what you can say, if conductivity sigma increases, J increases and current increases. That means higher conductivity means the material will carry higher amount of current. Is it fine? Higher conductivity implies higher amount of current, and that is what I am saying. Conductivity is proportional to number of charge carriers, because if number of charge carriers or concentration of charge carriers is high, that is more charge carriers are present, then the current will also be high. So you can think like this: if the material has more number of charge carriers, it will be able to carry more amount of current, right? More number of charge carrier or more electrons will contribute to a higher amount of current. Now that is why if you say, if number of charge carriers, if the number of charge carriers increase, then conductivity increases, okay. So in these three materials, what is the basic difference is the number of charge carriers. Concentration actually means number of charge carriers per unit volume, okay. So the unit of this concentration N is per centimeter cube, that is number of charge carriers per centimeter cube. So insulators can have a maximum concentration of 10 to the power 6. Semiconductors have maximum concentration of 10 to the power 21, and above this the materials will be called as conductors. So what you can say, that conductors have maximum number of charge carriers, whereas the insulators have minimum number of charge carriers. Now semiconductor materials are interesting. Why? Because in that the range of these charge carriers is large, okay. Range of concentration is large. If concentration is variable, if N can be varied, that means sigma is also variable, okay. That is the best property about semiconductors, is that you can change their conductivity. Their conductivity is not constant. Whatever conductivity you want, you can create that conductivity, and that is the best thing about the semiconductor material, okay. That is not at all possible in case of insulators or conductors. Now let us talk about the band diagram. Now before going to band diagram, let me give you a brief theory about this band theory. Okay, how these bands are formed. Is it fine? So what is band of energy? What we mean by this? See, when we used to study chemistry, what we used to say in Bohr model? In Bohr model, we say that electrons are present in shells around the nucleus. Let me take an example of carbon atom. Carbon atom has an atomic number of 6. So we used to write its atomic configuration as 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Okay, I am not going into details of this chemical configuration or atomic configuration because that is a part of chemistry. So what we used to say that there is a nucleus in which 2 electrons are present in the innermost shell and 4 electrons are present in the outer shell or the second shell, like this. Okay, 4 electrons are present. Now whenever chemical bond is formed, which electrons take part in bonding? Only outermost electrons become a part of bonding or bond. Okay, that means whenever you will form a chemical bond, the outermost electrons will form a part of bond. Now see this thing, if you have nucleus, if you have electron, if you bring these such two atoms close, if we bring these two close in order to form a bond, then what happens? Within each atom there is electrostatic attraction, like this. This is the attractive force. But when these two atoms start coming close, there will be a force between the nucleus. That force will be repulsive. There will be attractive force between electron of one atom and nucleus of the other. There will be attractive force between nucleus and electron and repulsive force between the two electrons. So this will be repulsive, attractive, attractive. That means when two atoms will come close, there will be forces acting between the two atoms. Earlier the forces were between the nucleus and electron of the same atom, but as they come close, forces appear between the two atoms. Now if we go by basic concept of electrostatics, what I can say, if we go by electrostatics, that whenever electrostatic force appears, potential energy changes. Okay. Why potential energy changes? We know change in potential energy is work done. Work done is force dot displacement. So whenever force is acting and there is displacement, then there will be change in potential energy. So what I can say is, when bond is formed, energy level of electrons will change. Is it fine? Whenever bond will be formed, the energy level of electron will change. Why is it happening? Due to forces acting between the two atoms. If energy level changes, then what happens actually is, we say that at each energy level, there are electron present. Now due to bonding, this energy level splits up into two energy levels. One energy level is called as anti-bonding molecular orbital. Other one is called as bonding molecular orbital. Now in this bonding molecular orbital, what happens? energy is less. In antibonding, energy is high. So what I mean to say is there are energy levels present within each atom, and when bond is formed, there are forces acting between the two atoms, and these forces change the energy levels into two levels. One is called as bonding, other is called as antibonding. Antibonding has higher energy as compared to bonding. That means an energy level gives rise to two energy level, one of which is high and the other is low. Now what we know by our data or what we know by common sense is that every electron or every body will try to remain in a state of minimum energy. So electrons always prefer to stay in bonding molecular orbital. Okay, so in antibonding there are less electrons, in bonding there are more electrons. Is it fine? Electrons always prefer to stay in a state of minimum energy, so it will have more. Now when many such energy levels will appear, why many energy levels will appear? Because many atoms are combining together. I told you the case of only two atoms. When many such atoms will combine, many energy level will be created. Out of those many energy level, some will be bonding, others will be anti-bonding. Now bonding molecular orbitals will be the ones having lower energy, and anti-bonding will be the ones having higher energy. So what I can say is, due to bond formation, there are two energy levels created, lower and the higher energy, and when these energy levels are very close together like this, these are high energy and some will have low energy. Okay, now why I am showing multiple levels in high energy? Due to n atoms. When n atoms are combined. Similarly in low energy, due to n atoms. Now when these energy levels are very close together, it is called as a band. Okay, so there are multiple energy levels which are very close to each other, and they will be termed as an energy band. So what do you understand by this? If I ask you to summarize, what you have to say? When the atoms come close together, there are forces acting between the atoms. Due to these forces, the energy levels of an atom or of an electron will change. If the energy level changes, it gets split into two energy levels, antibonding and bonding. Antibonding has higher energy, bonding has lower energy. And when multiple such atoms combine, multiple energy levels are created, and if these energy levels are very close to each other, they will be called as a band. So a band is nothing but collection of energy levels which are very close in energy to each other. They are very closely located in terms of their energy. Now this high energy band will be from now on called as conduction band, and the low energy band will be called as the valence band. Okay, so I am telling two names, one is the conduction band and other is the valence band. Okay, now when we talk about band diagram, I have told you that there are two energy bands. One of them is called as valence band and the other is called as the conduction band. So in the last slide what I told you is that whenever bond formation takes place, which electrons participate? Only outermost electrons. Okay, only outermost electrons, or you can say valence electrons. Okay, that is why valence electrons are said to lie in valence band. Valence band means It is a collection of energy levels of valence electrons. That is why I have shown one more energy level, that is core electron. Core electrons means inner electrons which lie inside the outermost shell. Like in penultimate shell or the inner shells, those will be called as core electrons, and they will have lower energy as compared to valence band or conduction band. This much is fine. Valence band is what? Valence band is collection of energies of the valence electrons. What are the valence electrons? The electrons that are present in the outermost shell. This much is fine. Now see, at T equal to 0 Kelvin, kT by E or thermal energy is 0. If thermal energy is 0, no electron has energy to move or conduct current. No electron will have that much energy. If no electron has energy to move or conduct current, then what happens? That electrons are lying in valence band. That is, all electrons will lie in valence band. So we will say valence band is full and conduction band is empty. This you will say. Are you getting my point? Actually, what is the significance of this conduction band? It consists of electrons taking part in conduction. Okay. Electrons taking part in conduction will lie in conduction band. Electrons attached to atom will lie in valence band. So valence band contains the electrons in the outermost shell, okay, which are still attached to the atom. Okay, if these electrons escape the force of nucleus, if these electrons get free from the atom, then they will start to conduct current and they will lie in the conduction band. So conduction band only contains the electrons which are free from atom to conduct the current. Okay, and valence band contains electrons which are still bound to the nucleus by electrostatic force. Now as temperature increases, electron gain energy. If they gain energy, they ionize from the atom. They get ionized from the atom. If they ionize from the atom, then what happens? Then they can conduct current. If they can conduct current, they will be said to lie in conduction band. Okay. So electrons are said to move from valence band to conduction band. In terms of chemistry, what you can say, by giving energy, if we are ionizing the electrons, then then they can take part in conduction, and that is the same thing when we say that electrons are moving from valence band to the conduction band. Okay. Now if we talk about the three type of material, conductor, semiconductor and insulator, and check their band diagrams, then let me first explain the terms here. EC. EC is called as minimum energy of conduction band. Okay. Similarly, EV. EV is called as maximum energy of valence band. See, valence band contains electrons which are bound to the nucleus. Conduction band contains electrons which are ionized from the nucleus. So, conduction band electrons have more energy as compared to valence band. Okay. So, if they have more energy, then the minimum energy at which we will call an electron to lie in conduction band is called as EC. It is the minimum energy at which an electron can be a part of conduction band. Similarly, valence band electrons have lower energy. So EV is the maximum energy that a valence band electron can have. It cannot have more energy than EV. And the gap between these two energies is called as energy gap, or it is also called as band gap. Why is this gap significant? This is the gap between valence and conduction band, so it represents the energy required to send an electron from valence to the conduction band. Sending an electron from valence to conduction band means ionizing that electron from the atom so that it takes part in conduction. So Eg is the energy required in order to promote the electron from valence to the conduction band, and it has the unit electron volt. Okay, electron volt is a unit of energy, and 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. This much is fine. Now there are three materials: metal, semiconductor and insulator. Metal can also be called as conductor. In conductor, if you see, there is no gap between conduction and valence band here. CB and VB overlap. Why they are overlapping? That means valence band electrons are already a part of conduction band. Okay, if valence band electrons are already a part of conduction band means that there are some electrons which are already ionized. If electrons are already ionized means they can take part in conduction. Okay, so that means when we talk about a metal or a conductor, there are already free electrons present which can take part in conduction. What is meant by free electrons? The electrons that are free from the grip of nucleus and can take part in conduction are called as free electrons. So in a metal, valence and conduction band are overlapping with each other. What does that mean? It means that there are free electrons present inside the atom even at 0 Kelvin temperature. Okay. Now if you see, in semiconductor, there is a very small energy gap. This energy gap illustrates or tells us that a small amount of energy is required to send the electron from valence to conduction band. It means a small amount of energy is required to ionize the electron. In insulator, the energy gap is large. If the energy gap is large, this is basically greater than 5 electron volt in insulator. If it is so large, then it is very difficult to for an electron to go from valence band to conduction band. Going from valence band to conduction band means ionizing. Why ionizing? To conduct current. So it means it is very difficult for an insulator to conduct current. It is easier for semiconductor, and for metal it is easiest. So the larger is the energy gap, it says it is more difficult to conduct current through that material. As you increase the energy gap, the difficulty for current conduction increases. So current is most difficult to conduct in an insulator, and it is easiest to conduct in a metal. For semiconductor, it is moderate. It is neither too easy and not too difficult. So these are the three type of material. What did I tell you? In a conductor, the number of charge carriers are high. In an insulator, the number of charge carriers are minimum. In a conductor, energy gap is minimum or zero. In an insulator, energy gap is larger. So these are the three type of materials that are there when we classify on the basis of conductivity or the band diagram. So now let me summarize whatever we have learned in this lecture, and rest of the topics as I told you about the semiconductor, We'll continue in the next one. So what did I tell you? I told you that there are three types of material on the basis of structure: crystalline, amorphous, and pseudocrystalline. Crystalline had regular arrangement of atoms. Pseudocrystalline had regular arrangement over short distance. Amorphous had the atoms at random. Then we classified on the basis of insulator, semiconductor, and conductor or metal. I told you when we talk about charge carrier concentration, these boundaries are 10 to the power 6 and 10 to the power 21, and this charge carrier concentration units are per centimeter cube. That is, insulators will have less than 10 to the power 6, semiconductors will have greater than 10 to the power 6 but less than 10 to the power 21, conductors will have concentration greater than 10 to the power 21. When we talked about band gap was 5 electron volt, greater than 5 electron volt. Here it was less than 5 electron volt. Here there was no energy gap. That is, conduction band and valence band overlap. I told you about the concept of valence band. Valence band contains outermost electrons or valence electrons, okay, whereas conduction band contains electrons free from atom or ionized electron. I told you minimum energy of conduction band is EC and it is greater than EV. That is, maximum of valence band, EC is minimum of conduction band. This much we have learnt about the classification of material, that is semiconductor, insulator and conductor, and in the next video I'll only talk about semiconductors which we will be using to construct our devices such as diode, BJT, MOSFET. Thank you.
Hello everybody, how did you like the lecture? Did you like it or not? Did you enjoy the concepts or not? Tell me in the chat and the comment section. Did you guys like what you just saw? Did you guys understand each and everything, my dear friends? Okay, so if you liked it, then please share, please like the video and please leave a comment behind, because your comments are very, very valuable to all of us, and we do read your each and every comment and we go through them to understand what are the difficulties you are facing and how we are performing on YouTube. And my dear friend, a bonanza for you. Every subject is available on this YouTube channel. You just need to scroll through the channel and you will find all the courses. EDC, EMT, COM, machine, power system, power electronics, network, signal control, digital, maths, APT, everything is available here, everything. So you can just use this channel as your entire preparatory study material. Okay. Other than that, now all of you who wanted to know about the pricing of Plus, 1 year subscription on Plus will cost you 27,225 if you apply the code Ankit ESE. But now, my dear friend, there is a new subscription, 18-month subscription. Those of you who are starting your preparation mid-year can target GATE twice, or you can target GATE and ESE mains with 1.5 year subscription. That will cost you 34,650 if you apply the code Ankit ESE. If you see the difference, only 7,000 difference is there, but you are getting 6 months extra. And even better, you can go for 2 year. It will cost you 39,600. That is again in just 5,000 rupees, you are getting 6 months extra. So you can target all the exams like GATE, ESE, semester exams, ISRO, BARC, everything you can target with just one subscription. And if you go for Iconic, in which I told you about the personal coach, study material, interview guidance, for 12 months it will cost 4,500 if you use the code Ankit ESE, and for 24 months it will cost you 54,000 if you use the code Ankit ESE. Ankit ESE is your code, my code, our code, and that will give you an instant 10% discount over and above whatever Unacademy is offering you. And my dear friend, that will connect you to me so that we can work together towards getting the best GATE rank. So don't hesitate, join today because winners always start early, winners never start late. So it's always better to start immediately rather than thinking about it and becoming late and later on regretting your decision. Believe me, you will not even regret one day when you join Plus. So it's high time that you join Unacademy Plus and get the best out of you and become the best version of yourself. And my dear friend, this is the Telegram channel for our YouTube team. You will find all the lecture updates here. And this is my personal Telegram channel. If you wish to get in touch with me with my personal Telegram channel, GATE AIR1. Okay, GATE AIR1 is my Telegram channel. You can get connected to me. You will get notes, you will get lecture links, everything you will get here. All the new initiatives information will be provided here. These are the other channels that we are running in other than Creatrix. You will find Electrical Junction. Here you will find short videos for GATE preparation, GATE question for PYQ, GS Terminal for non-technical content of SSC and RRB, Pathshala to learn engineering through animation, SSC JE for your JE and AE exams, my dear friends. Other than that, Telugu, if you want to learn engineering or GATE and ESE preparation in the Telugu language, if you are comfortable with it, go for Telugu. Other than that, we have separate channel for mechanical, civil, computer science. You will find all these channels. Please share these channels with your friends as well so that they can also get benefited in the same manner that you are getting benefit from our side. Okay. So thank you everybody. See you soon in the next video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Share it among your college friends, among your Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, everywhere you need to share it. And you need to subscribe to this channel, press that red button and hit the bell icon because my dear friend, this channel is creating a revolution in the GATE and ESE industry and you, my friend, are a part of this revolution. So see you soon. Thank you.